All right, so what if I told you that the key to building wealth isn't about all that extreme stuff you see online? You know, the 4 a.m. wake-ups, the daily ice baths. The real secret, the one that actually works, is about something way smaller, something much more achievable. It's all about a fundamental shift in how we think about success in the first place.
We're constantly sold this myth, right? That to get massive success, you need these huge, painful changes in your life. But honestly, the reality is so much more encouraging than that. It's all about these little micro habits, these tiny, consistent steps that, they just build on each other over time and create this incredible, unstoppable momentum. And the best part? These small actions, they don't just hit your bank account. They actually ripple out into everything. Your physical health, your mental state, your emotional well-being. And it's all because they start in the one place most people completely forget to look, right between your ears.
Okay, so where do we start? Well, we start with the foundation. Because look, before you can do anything effectively out there in the real world, you've got to get your internal world right first. Seriously, your mindset is everything.
I'm sure you've heard this one before. It's a classic for a reason. The idea is, if you're surrounded by negativity, guess what? It's going to seep in. But here's the modern twist that's so important today. Your 5 people, they don't even have to be in the same room as you anymore. Your circle is the books you're reading, the podcasts you're listening to, the channels you're following online. So the real question is, are you actually curating that circle on purpose?
All right, this next habit is such a practical way to fight back against that voice of self-doubt. It's all about creating what we'll call an I can do this file. You literally just document your own wins. You write down the fear you felt before you started something, and then you write down that amazing feeling of accomplishment you had after. This thing becomes your personal, undeniable proof of what you can do. It's right there, ready to pull out whenever you're having a tough day.
Okay, let's talk about actually rewiring your brain's default setting. And this one is all about gratitude. Now, I know, it might sound a little simple, but the effect is absolutely profound. When you actively train your brain to look for the good stuff, your entire view of the world starts to change. A super easy way to build this habit? Just grab a journaling app, something like Day One, and set a daily reminder to jot down just one, good thing that happened.
Think about this. How many times has the fear of what other people will think just stopped you dead in your tracks? We've all been there. Well, this next habit is like a mental superpower against that very fear. It's one single question that works like the ultimate filter for all that outside noise. So whenever you start worrying about what someone thinks, just stop, take a breath, and ask yourself this question. I'm telling you, most of the time, you'll realize their opinion really doesn't matter, and that frees you up to focus on your path.
All right, so our mindset is the foundation. We've got that sorted. Now it's time to build the practical stuff on top of it, the structures for success. It's time to build your system. This quote from Warren Buffett, it basically nails the whole idea of paying yourself first. And the tiny habit here is just one word: automation. It's about setting up automatic transfers so that a piece of your income goes straight into your savings and investments before you can even touch it. This is how you remove temptation. It's how you outsmart your own worst instincts. You end up building for the future consistently without even having to think about it.
You know this saying, right? Vague goals get vague results. It's so true. So instead of just saying, I want to save more, get super specific. Something like, I will save $30,000 for a down payment by the end of 2027. So how do you do that? Well, let's break it down. To hit a goal like $30,000 in, let's say, 2 years, all of a sudden that big scary number just becomes saving $1,250 a month. See how that works? Being specific makes these massive goals feel totally achievable.
So how do you actually get clear on where your money is going? First off, forget about those super restrictive budgets that nobody sticks to anyway. Instead, think of this like a financial compass. It's simple. You just audit your spending and sort it into 3 buckets: fundamental, which is for your needs; fun, for your lifestyle; and future, for your growth. This is not about cutting things out. It's about empowering yourself so you can make confident decisions with your money.
Listen, you absolutely do not need a finance degree to build wealth. The habit here is so simple. Just block out 1 hour a week. That's it, 1 hour a week to learn about money. Think of it this way. Every hour you spend on your financial literacy, that's like making a deposit in your knowledge bank. And over time, that knowledge compounds just like money does. It starts revealing opportunities. It helps you avoid mistakes you never would have seen coming. And that knowledge, that's what turns into real earning potential.
All right, we're at the final section. So you've got the mindset down, you've got the system in place. Now it's all about the actions you take every single day to generate value, protect your energy, and just keep on growing.
Now, this next habit is backed by some really fascinating research from a guy named Thomas Corley. He studied wealthy people and found this huge difference in one key area: what they consumed versus what they created. The core idea is so simple: create more than you consume. So instead of just passively scrolling or binge watching, spend that time creating something. You could write, build something, design, really anything that develops a skill. And you don't have to go crazy. Just start with 15 minutes a day.
Oh man, this next one, I think we can all relate to this. It's called the yes trap. It's that feeling deep down that you have to say yes to every request, every opportunity, every invitation. And you know where that leads, right? Straight to burnout, feeling resentful, and watching your own goals get pushed to the side. So what's the antidote? It's getting crystal clear on what you actually want. When you know exactly what your target is, it becomes so much easier to say no to all the stuff that's just a distraction.
You know how Steve Jobs always wore that black turtleneck? Or how Mark Zuckerberg has his gray t-shirt? They weren't just making a fashion statement. They automated their closing choices to get rid of something called decision fatigue. And you can apply that same idea to pretty much anywhere in your life. By simplifying all those repetitive little choices, you save your precious time, your money, and most importantly, your mental energy for the decisions that actually matter.
Okay, let's just be honest with ourselves for a second. You are never going to feel 100% ready. Ever. You know that saying, tomorrow? Well, tomorrow is where great ideas go to die. So the habit here is to just take action, any small action, the second a good idea hits you. Yeah, you might make mistakes. So what? That's just part of the game. You got to trust your gut and just get started.
So we've talked about mindset, we've talked about systems, and we've talked about actions. But what's the one big idea that pulls all of these tiny habits together and really makes them work? It's this incredibly powerful concept called the 1% progress rule.
The idea here is so simple, but it's also really profound. Just focus on making tiny 1% improvements to your financial life each month. That's it. Trim one little expense. Find one small way to boost your income just a tiny bit. These changes are so small they feel easy, almost like they don't even matter. But that's the magic, because over time, the power of compounding kicks in, and it turns those tiny, painless steps into really meaningful, life-changing results.
And that right there is the secret. It's not about some massive, scary overhaul of your entire life. It's about choosing one small thing, just one, and starting today. So I'll leave you with this question. Out of everything we just talked about, what is the one tiny habit you're going to start?